Stay exactly where you are. Don't reach for the phone. Don't turn on the television to drown out the silence. Don't call that person just to feel a connection that, deep down, isn't even there. I know why you are here tonight. I know why the room feels heavier than usual, yet strangely hollow. You are sitting in a silence so thick you can almost hear the vibration of your own soul. And for the first time in a long time, the world has gone quiet. But you aren't lonely. You are being hushed by the divine. Right now, as you listen to my voice, you might be feeling a strange, nagging sensation in your chest. A mixture of isolation and a bizarre sense of peace that you can't quite explain. You've been looking at the walls or perhaps staring out the window at a world that seems to be moving on without you. And a thought tried to creep into your mind. Am I being forgotten? You see the social media posts, the gatherings, the laughter of people who seem to fit so effortlessly into the gears of this world. And then you look at your own hands, your own quiet space, and you feel like an island in a vast, dark ocean. But I am here to tell you that this isn't abandonment. This is an appointment. Have you noticed how heavy your eyelids feel lately? Not because you are tired from physical labor, but because your spirit is exhausted from carrying the weight of a world that doesn't understand your light. You've been experiencing these sudden drops in social energy. 1 minute you're fine, and the next a wall goes up. You find yourself mid-conversation wanting to simply get up and walk away. Not out of anger, but out of a desperate need to protect the flickering flame inside of you. Your phone has become a source of anxiety. Every notification feels like an intrusion. Every text message feels like a demand for energy you simply do not have to give. You are experiencing the great muting. You've had those headaches, haven't you? That pressure right behind your eyes or at the crown of your head that doctors can't explain. That's not a physical ailment. That's the frequency of the matrix trying to sync with your brain, and your spirit is rejecting the signal. You feel out of alignment with the noise. Even the music you used to love sounds jarring. The food you used to enjoy tastes bland. The small talk that used to be a minor annoyance now feels like a literal sandpaper on your soul. You are becoming hypersensitive because you are being recalibrated. Tonight, the silence is loud. It's ringing in your ears. You feel a physical ache of being separate. You look at your life and you see the gaps where friends used to be, where family used to be, where normalcy used to be. You feel the coldness of the vacuum. You might even feel a sense of grief, mourning the version of yourself that knew how to pretend. But listen to me. The silence you are experiencing right now is the laboratory of the Creator. You are not lonely. You are in the waiting room of a massive spiritual promotion. The world calls this depression. The Matrix calls this social withdrawal. But we know what it really is. It is the sanctification of the chosen one. You are quiet because you have nothing left to say to the shadows. You are quiet because your internal frequency is shifting so high that the voices of the people around you are starting to sound like static. You are sitting in this stillness tonight because the universe has placed a do not disturb sign on your spirit. This heaviness you feel in your limbs is the grounding of your power. Do not fight it. Do not try to fix it. Do not apologize for your silence. The stars don't scream to be seen. They just shine in the dark. Tonight you are the dark and you are the star, and the silence is your sanctuary. You need to understand that there is a divine mechanic behind this sudden urge to retreat. You aren't just feeling quiet by accident or because you've lost your spark. You are quiet because you are currently undergoing a massive spiritual software update, and you cannot run the old programs while the new light is being installed. Think of your spirit like a high-performance vessel. When a ship is in the middle of the ocean, it can handle the waves, the wind, and the noise. But when that ship needs to be upgraded, when its hull needs to be strengthened to withstand deeper, darker, and more pressurized waters, it must be pulled into the dry dock. It must be taken out of the water. It must be silenced. That is where you are right now. You are in the dry dock of the Most High. The reason you feel so disconnected from everyone else is because your vibration has surpassed the threshold of the collective matrix frequency. Most people function on a low-frequency broadcast, a loop of fear, gossip, vanity, and survival. For years, you were able to tune your radio to that station just to get by. You wore the mask. You spoke the language. But the Creator has reached out and turned your dial. You are now vibrating at a frequency that the world literally cannot hear. When you try to speak to them, it's like a bird trying to talk to a fish. The mediums are different. This creates a spiritual vacuum. Because you can no longer connect on that lower level, and you haven't yet fully manifested into the higher realm, you are sitting in the gap. The gap feels like loneliness, but in reality, it is a protective barrier. The universe is intentionally starving your ego of external validation. This is a crucial part of the process. As a chosen one, you have a natural tendency to be a giver. You feed others with your light, your empathy, and your presence. But for too long, you have been leaked dry by energy vampires and parasitic entities that hide in the skin of your friends and family. These entities don't want you. They want the mana that flows through you. By making you quiet, by making you feel isolated, the divine is cutting off the supply line. God is putting you in power save mode to ensure that every ounce of your spiritual currency is spent on your own evolution, rather than being stolen by people who will never celebrate your rise. There is a spiritual law at play here, the law of displacement. To bring in the new, the old must be forcibly removed. If your life was still full of the noise of busyness and the chatter of meaningless relationships, there would be no room for the downloads you're about to receive. The silence is a vacuum, and nature abhors a vacuum. That space you feel, that emptiness in your Saturday nights, that lack of notifications on your phone, is a placeholder for something monumental. You are being prepared for a greater instruction. You cannot hear the whisper of your ancestors or the commands of the divine when you are surrounded by the shouting of the mundane. Furthermore, you are being shielded from a coming storm. Often, when the chosen one is called into silence, it is because there is a spiritual conflict happening in the unseen realms that you are not meant to participate in. If you were out there right now, you would be caught in the crossfire of energies that are beneath your station. By keeping you quiet and lonely, the universe has essentially placed you in a spiritual bunker. You are being hidden. In the scriptures, it is said that he shall hide me in his pavilion. This is your pavilion. It's not a prison, it's a sanctuary. Your soul is currently processing karma at an accelerated rate. In this quiet, all the things you've been running from, the trauma, the repressed memories, the ancestral weights, are rising to the surface. You feel heavy because you are literally digesting lifetimes of energy. You are quiet because your internal resources are being diverted to the great clearing. Every minute you spend in this stillness without reaching for a distraction, you are burning off layers of the old self. You are shedding the skin of the people pleaser and the sacrificial lamb. You are becoming the lion. You are being quiet because the lion does not roar until it is time to hunt. Right now you are just watching. You are observing. You are gathering your strength. The silence is the charging station for your soul. Do you know why they are suddenly checking in on you? Have you noticed the random texts from people you haven't spoken to in months? Or the way certain family members seem irritated by your absence? They aren't checking on you because they love you. They are checking on you because they can no longer feel your pulse. When a chosen one goes quiet, the entire energetic ecosystem of the matrix begins to panic. You are a source of light, a battery for the unawakened. And when you go into your sanctuary and shut the door, their world goes dark. They feel the withdrawal of your energy like a physical hunger, and it terrifies them. The enemy, the narcissists, and the low-vibration entities that use people as puppets are currently confused. For years, they knew exactly how to trigger you. They knew which button to push to get a reaction, which guilt trip to use to make you apologize, and which drama to invent to pull you back into their orbit. But now, there is nothing. There is only a wall of silence. To a narcissist, your silence is the ultimate weapon. It is a mirror that forces them to look at their own emptiness. Without your reaction to feed on, they are beginning to starve. They are pacing their rooms, wondering why their spells aren't working anymore. They are wondering if you finally figured it out. Watch closely as their tactics change. When they realize they can no longer lure you out with kindness or false concern, they will turn to provocation. They will start rumors. They will whisper to others that you've changed, that you're going through something, or that you've lost your mind. They call your peace instability because they cannot fathom a mind that isn't constantly seeking external noise. They are trying to create a storm loud enough to make you break your silence. They want you to come out of your bunker to defend yourself. They want you to leak your energy in an explanation, but you must remain still. Your power over them right now is absolute, and it is found entirely in your refusal to participate. They are scared of you because your silence is a sign of mastery. In the spiritual realm, the one who can sit in a room alone and be satisfied is the most dangerous person on the planet. Why? Because you can't be bought. You can't be tempted by the clout or the social validation that keeps the rest of the world enslaved. When you stop needing them, they lose all authority over you. They see you pulling back, and they see the glow you are developing in the dark. Even through your social media silence or your physical absence, they can sense that you are leveling up. They can feel your frequency rising, and it feels like a burning heat to their cold, parasitic nature. The matrix itself is trying to recapture your attention. Have you noticed how many more distractions are being thrown your way? Bizarre news cycles, sudden emergencies in your friend group, or even technological glitches that force you to engage with the world. These are not accidents. These are the probes of a system that has lost a valuable asset. You were a pillar in their world of chaos, and now that you've stepped out, the ceiling is starting to sag. They need you back in the drama. They need you back in the mix. They need you to be lonely so that you'll accept their low-quality companionship. But you are seeing through the veil now. You are realizing that their concern is actually a search warrant. They are looking for a way back into your spirit. Every time you don't respond, every time you choose the quiet over the conflict, you are winning a battle in the unseen realms. You are reclaiming your throne. You are showing the enemy that your energy is now private property. It is no longer a public park for them to trample on. Your quietness is a no trespassing sign written in the blood of your own resilience. Let them wonder. Let them whisper. Let them be afraid of the version of you that is currently being born in the silence. Because the person who walks out of this quiet season will be someone they no longer have the permission to address. The truth is much deeper than a simple mood or a phase of introversion. We must look at the ancient laws that govern the existence of a chosen one. You are currently operating under the law of divine separation. Throughout history, every great prophet, every master, and every bringer of light was forced into a period of total isolation before their public manifestation. Moses had the desert, Elijah had the cave, Christ had the wilderness. You have your bedroom, your quiet house, and your silent phone. This is the theological great work in progress. You are being set apart because you cannot be part of the harvest if you are still tangled in the weeds. You must realize that you are a biological portal. Your body is a vessel for a specific type of cosmic energy that the earth desperately needs right now. However, this energy is highly volatile and extremely pure. If you were to stay connected to the low-grade frequencies of the world, the toxic conversations, the heavy foods, the desperate social climbing, you would contaminate the stream. The universe has forced you into this lonely state to act as a filter. In the silence, the sediment of the world is falling to the bottom, and the water of your spirit is becoming crystal clear. This is the clearance required for the prophecy of your life to take root. There is a specific decree over your life that states you are not meant to find comfort in the normal. If you felt okay in the noise, you would never fulfill your purpose. You would settle for a mediocre life, a mediocre partner, and a mediocre spiritual connection. The ache of loneliness you feel tonight is actually a divine hunger. It is your soul's way of saying, I can no longer eat the crumbs of this world. I am waiting for the manna. The Creator is intentionally making the world taste like ash in your mouth so that you will finally stop trying to feast at tables where you are only tolerated and start preparing the table where you will lead. Look at the geometry of your life. For years, you were a circle, trying to encompass everyone, trying to hold everyone together, trying to be the fixer. But in this quiet season, the divine is sharpening you into a spear. A spear must be thin. It must be streamlined. It must be solitary to reach its target with maximum force. You are being narrowed. The loss of friends and the quietness of your social life is the sharpening process. Every person who falls away is a gram of weight that would have slowed your flight. You are being prepared to pierce through the veil of the matrix and create a path for those who will follow you. This is the truth of the remnant. In every generation, a small percentage of souls are called out. These are the ones who carry the genetic and spiritual markers of the new earth. If you are listening to this, you are part of that remnant. Your DNA is literally being recoded by the silence. When it is quiet, your nervous system finally has the chance to drop out of fight or flight mode, the state the matrix keeps everyone in, and enter into creation mode. In this state, you are receiving instructions for your next move that will seem like luck or intuition to others, but it is actually a direct broadcast from the source. You are not lonely, you are in formation. You are being formed from the inside out. The reason you don't fit in is because you are being modeled after a blueprint that hasn't been seen on this planet for thousands of years. You are a prototype, and prototypes are always kept in a private, secure laboratory until they are ready for the reveal. The loneliness is just the security detail keeping the distractions away. You are under a divine NDA, non-disclosure agreement. You aren't supposed to be talking right now. You aren't supposed to be out there. You are supposed to be right here, in the hollow of the Father's hand, becoming the weapon of light you were always destined to be. The silence is not your enemy. It is your womb. Now I want you to take a deep, conscious breath. Feel the air enter your lungs, not as a simple physical act, but as the intake of spirit itself. As you exhale, I want you to release the lie that you are lonely. Release the shame of being unsociable. Release the fear that you are falling behind. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. Your first practical step in this activation is to embrace the stillness. Tomorrow, when the world tries to rush you, when the phone vibrates with a demand for your time, or when your mind tells you to do something to be productive, I want you to choose 5 minutes of intentional silence. Sit in a chair, feet flat on the ground, and say to yourself, "My silence is my power. I am not missing out. I am being filled up." Stop explaining yourself to people who do not have the ears to hear you. If they ask why you've been so quiet, simply smile and say, "I am listening." You don't owe anyone a map of your internal desert. This is your sacred ground. Your second step is to ground your energy. Because you are vibrating so high right now, your physical body might feel floaty or anxious. Drink pure water. Touch the earth. Remind your vessel that while your spirit is traveling the cosmos, your feet are still planted in the soil of your purpose. You are a bridge between heaven and earth, and a bridge must be anchored on both sides. Now let us seal this energy. If you are in a place where you can speak, say these words with me. If not, let them resonate in the cathedral of your mind. Divine Creator, source of all light, I thank you for the silence. I thank you for the walls you have built around me to keep out the noise of the world. I accept this season of quiet as a gift, not a punishment. I acknowledge that I am not lonely, for you are with me, and my ancestors stand behind me in the shadows. I give you permission to recalibrate my soul. Clear out the voices of the past. Mute the frequency of my enemies. Sharpen my intuition until it is a blade that cuts through the illusions of the matrix. I claim my power as a chosen one. I am protected. I am hidden. I am being prepared. No weapon formed against my peace shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against my silence, I shall condemn. I am the light in the dark. I am calm in the storm. It is done, and so it is. Feel that shift. The air in your room has changed. The heavy weight in your chest is no longer an ache. It is an anchor. You are now sealed. The energy that was leaking out of you has been redirected inward. You are a closed circuit of divine power. Do not be afraid of the quiet tonight. It is the sound of your old life fading away and your new destiny beginning to breathe. When you close your eyes tonight, know that you are being watched over by legions of light. You are not just quiet. You are a masterpiece in progress. The next time you feel that pull to reach for a distraction, remember this moment. Remember that the Creator of the stars has paused the universe just to have a conversation with you in the hush of the midnight hour. You are loved, you are chosen, and you are finally beautifully silent. If this message reached your soul, if you felt the truth of these words in your very marrow, I invite you to claim this activation. Type "I am chosen and I am at peace" in the comments to anchor this frequency into the physical realm. Like this video to signal to the algorithm that this light needs to spread to other weary souls. Subscribe to this channel not just for content, but to join a tribe of those who understand the language of the silence. We are the chosen. We are the energy that changes the world. Rest now in the power of your own light. I will see you in the next transmission.